We are live.
Good morning. Tom Bristow behind the camera.
Good morning.
And your beloved EDP Evening News editor in front of it. Well, I say beloved anyway. We've got a lot to get through today, haven't we, Tom?
Absolutely, yeah.
Supplements galore, so I'm going to rattle through it. Starting with the Norwich Evening News, and a lovely Homes and Gardens supplement in there today. Lots of good stories, including fun and games, I suppose you'd say, on Prince of Wales Road, which stretched the police to limits. Some good pictures there and a good Dan Grimmer story. Turning inside, we've written a piece about a 5p price rise today, which I'll come back to because it affects the Eastern Daily Press as well. So there's a story there on page 2 which readers can find and decide on why we've done it and find out why we've done it. And a great story from George Freeman about the Innovation Express that he wants to run between Norwich and Cambridge and back, which I think is a cracking idea actually. If you get that line, which has become a sleepy line, it goes through Thetford, Ely and off to Cambridge, but if that became a fast moving line, well, people could even commute easily, and at the moment they can't, so you could get this cross-fertilisation between two great cities. So well done, George Freeman. Moving on to EDP, and so many things to talk about. I can't shake a stick at them, but I'm going to try. Obviously, a good headline from the sports team, Jeepers Creepers. John really won't want to look too much at the highlights after Saturday's late horror show, appropriate for the time of year. A wedding supplement, which is beautiful for all those brides-to-be and grooms-to-be. This is as heavy as you like, 64 pages of lots of lovely children's faces, first class, the first time they go to school. We send a photographer around, and as you can see, pages and pages of lovely, joyous youngsters starting on their great educational journey. And boy, oh boy, are we pleased to do that. Any schools out there watching that aren't in this, get registered for the next one, and we'll make sure our cameraman is there. A Gerald competition, taking a full page, win £1,000 at Gerald, and some stories, a potpourri of stories I'm going to rattle through.
What are your highlights, Nigel?
So, Tom, we have giant spiders on the Broad. Watch out for those that are worried about spiders. On our national pages, I just singled out this lovely picture yesterday. The Christmas lights went on Oxford Street, and darling Kylie, who I saw at the Rugby World Cup final, losing side for her fabulous Rugby World Cup final, is there turning the lights on. Above our weather, we've got little teasers to what's coming up later in the week, and we've got the Christmas magazine for Norfolk, North Suffolk, Fenland, which is beautiful. That's coming up tomorrow. On Wednesday, we've got a 32-page Homes and Gardens guide, so lots of cracking value this week. Keeping pressure up on our mental health campaign, story there. An exclusive splash by, we call it a splash, front page lead, by Dan Grimmer and Sam Russell. Really interesting review that's been ordered in a bit of a hurry into Norfolk County Council's farm stock. Not many people will know that the county owns well over 100 farms. They're checking out what's been going on there. A couple of other stories. Fast-moving broadband, trying to get more connections. It appears to be one project is ahead of budget in Norfolk. And a story I particularly like from Wells Next to Sea, up on the North Norfolk coast, where they've unearthed, uncovered, unanchored, up-anchored, you might say, a giant 2 or 3 ton anchor that's encrusted in barnacles. It's been brought up from the depths and from the time of Admiral Lord Nelson himself. Wells Harbour, way back in time, was one of the most important ports in Britain. That's been brought up. And of course, for all those people out there who follow up on all our stories and who are currently scampering to catch us up, it's a nice little exclusive from Doug Faulkner. Busy days then, and the price rise I mentioned on EDP, we decided that we'd tell people that we're going up. It's just 5p a day, Monday to Friday, 10p on a Saturday. We think we're a pretty decent value for money for that, and I've explained why in writing. So 35 pence a week, and I think we probably owe readers an explanation, and I hope I've done that on page 2. Foggy day out there, disruption at the airports, no major accidents that we're hearing about. Trains running slightly late, going slower because of they're watching the signals carefully in this fog. Have a good week, and I'll be back here tomorrow.